Okay, so welcome to this. I think this part 8 of this series, where I'm going to be talking about multicolored rares, and I decided to also add multicolored mythics, just to keep this whole series, the number of episodes in some sort of, I don't know, you know, have a manageable number of episodes. That's it. That's what I want to say. Anyhow, so first there's this. Okay, I decided to still follow the like sort of the skeleton from Crimson Vow, but obviously I'm not going to follow it as tightly when I'm talking about rares and mythics, because if my point is to try to figure out a set that is draftable, the rares and the mythics are not that important. They're there to give some make the drafts a little bit more varied, but it's still the commons and uncommons are the bread and butter of draft, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And well, the rares and the mythics have other roles as well. Like in many ways they are more for the constructed world. So if you read like Mark Rosewater, one of the things he brings up with mythics is that they need to be exciting. Like someone needs to look at those cards and think about the possibilities that this card brings. So that's what I've gone for with the mythics. Although I'm not into like overpowered creatures, overpowered things. I don't want. I hate it when someone just draws the like random rare or mythic which just wins the game. That's just so boring, and I hate that. So I do want to avoid that, but still the rares should be more, at least have a more potential than commons and uncommons. Okay, so one of my ideas when I was thinking about these rares was that I might have mentioned this last time, but I wanted to make this in such a way that if you made this your commander, one of these, you would want to play the uncommon with the same colors, uncommon legendary creatures in that deck. I guess yes. So they're often exactly the same type, not always, but often. And they reference similar things often. They're not quite all quite that way, but many of them. So like first we have Windflower here, legendary bird warrior, just 2 mana. These are all just 2 mana. That's one of the things. That's so one of the things that again Mark Rosewater talks about is that you should have, give structure to your set. You should have cycles. So I decided that, okay, these are going to be a cycle, like 10 legendary creatures of each of 2 colors, and each costs just 2 mana. And some of them are very pushed, but I still made them just 2 mana. You maybe probably well, I don't know, maybe you would have to cut some of their power down somewhat, but I still wanted to make them good. But anyway, so Windflower, legendary bird warrior, blue and white and a blue, 2/2 flying. Whenever you surveil, if you surveil one or more creatures with flying to your graveyard, you may return one of them to your hand. So potentially great card advantage. And I do want, because I have a lot of cards that have surveil or have surveil synergies. So I wanted more of those. And well, there's a limited number of creatures with flying in the set, obviously. So it's not like, and most of the time when you surveil for one. So this isn't like something huge, something that you can just run away with the game. But you can definitely build around it. And again, you might want the uncommon version of card, which lets you surveil and lets you surveil actually potentially quite a bit. So these work together quite well. Although the uncommon, it doesn't fly itself, although I guess she doesn't fly it herself, even though, well, she is a bird scout, but injured officer. Oh yeah, I decided that, well, for some of these I have pretty good like backstory in my head. Some of these not. But many of these cards are like named again, like previously, like the uncommons. Many of these are named like because the many of the people who have ended up here in this place don't speak common languages, so they're just known by whatever name others have come up with them for them. So that's why they often have like names that feel like nicknames, which they basically are. So this called Windflower, I guess it's a C as well. I haven't even thought about that, but yeah, I feel like it's a C. Well, C to C. Windflower is a C. That's what I want to say. Then Sagan, legendary human rogue, blue and a black, 1 and 3, can't be blocked. Each other rogue and assassin has tap to survey 1. So okay, so here I have a backstory. So this to me is like this is a guy, and he's from Ravnica, and he was very ambitious. He was a member of Dimir, and he was very ambitious and wanted to take over whoever what's the name, Lazav, I think, yeah, fantasize of being the new Lazav. So he wants to build his own network of spies on this world, and also Vimka's lover, Vimka being the next character here. But anyway, and again, works well with the uncommon, which gives you whenever you surveil, target rogue can't be blocked this turn, and when it attacks, drain 1. So upon the defending player loses 1 life, you gain 1 life, and only triggers once per turn. Yeah, well, who's also from Ravnica. Although I sort of think about this uncommon, like, oh yeah, I've written that used to be Dimir, but yeah, okay. Then we have Vimka, who is a legendary orc assassin, black and red, 2/2, death touch first strike, which means maybe a little bit too strong. And for 0 mana, target assassin or rogue you control gains death touch until end of turn. Sack it at the beginning of the next end step. I have a so quite powerful. Basically, any assassin or rogue you have can be traded for any creature unless they have first strike or indestructible or something. But yeah, so gives you the ability to attack pretty freely with rogues and assassins and keep them back as blockers. So might be too powerful of an ability, but yeah, you get the idea that this guy is sort of a like you know, like a mastermind who's willing to sacrifice the troops And yeah, this guy is from Tarkir, formerly of Kolagan's Brood. So okay, so yeah, what I was actually thinking here with Seigan and Vimka, this was largely inspired by a video by Sarah Zed, which was about how people who were watching Sherlock, the British version of Sherlock, where Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, and like the fandom came up with this character, who was actually a character in the books, but it's just basically mentioned briefly in the, or appeared quite briefly in the series. The Moriarty is like second in command, whose name I'm forgetting right now. Morant or something like Morant or Moran or something like that. Anyway, so and the fandom, for some reason, obviously decided that they are lovers in the TV series, and they had theories that Michael Fassbender is going to play that character, whatever. I don't know how the producers could have afforded Michael Fassbender, but anyway, so that was basically the idea here. Like I wanted to have a mastermind, and you know, his right hand, who's also happens to be his lover, and well, yeah, weird. Anyway, then Bloodbraid Kaula, legendary elf warrior, red and green, 3/3, and gets +1/+1 for each other warrior you control. So extremely big and powerful. As long as you know, have other warriors. 2 mana 3/3 is in itself very playable, obviously, but if you can grow it like even once, it's going to be extremely good. Of course, since it's red and a green, it's quite limited. Like splashing really isn't a thing in this set. There isn't that many options for splashing, and you shouldn't generally splash 2-drops. So you're not going to be able to use warriors from other colors, other color combinations. But yeah, it is potential is there, and if not for the limited here, like I don't know, if you want to play very aggressive, a very aggressive deck in Commander, this is an option. Or maybe whatever. Does someone play like, what was that called? Like you know, the commander light, where you could only play cards that cost 3 or less. What was it called? I don't remember. Anyway, so I guess it's a C. I was thinking to C, and from Zand. I don't remember. I'm not sure. I tried to check this because I couldn't remember, but I couldn't find the information. I sort of seem to remember that the blood braids were from Zand, but again, not quite sure. Like based on the colors, they could be from Naya, but they feel like they're from Zand, so I assume so. Oh yeah, let's see. Did I miss something important here? Well, okay, Lena is a warrior, so that's the link here. But I don't think there's much of a link between the black-red creatures. Anyway, moving on to where were we? White-green. So Kaimi, legendary elf, white and a green, 1/1. Whenever 1/1 you control this combat damage to an opponent, draw a card. So there is this theme of 1/1s. Like I'm going to add one card that actually does something fun with those in the uncommons, whites. But yeah, there's a theme with 1/1s, and obviously it's not an easy theme to make work, because 1/1s are generally kind of useless as bodies. Like even if these things like 1/1, sure, if they have these great abilities, like they deal damage to an opponent, you draw a card. It's not like it's going to be very beneficial attack because they're just so easy to just so easy to block in general, unless you have uh, some sort of evasion, obviously. So it's a potentially very powerful, but you could also just the ceiling is high, but the floor is also very low. And so yeah, this I guess girl, this is actually a child, even though it's a legendary elf. I didn't give it any class. It's just a legendary elf because it is a child, so she doesn't have a class at this point. Then we have Mangle, legendary Thrall cleric. So I thought about this. Can I really do this? Like, how does a Thrall become legendary? Because they're generally mindless. But I still decided that sure, why not? It's from Ravnica, and I don't know how, but it somehow found sentience. Um, maybe because it's away from Orso or whatever. Maybe also it's somehow dampening the intelligence of the rules or whatever. But here we are. So it's a white and a black 2/2, and tap to sacrifice a non-token creature, gain 3 life, draw a card, and create a 1/1 black Thrall token. So it basically eats parts of bodies and reforms whatever's left. It reforms a Thrall out of that. Yeah, that's quite a bit actually. Then we have Musa, legendary human wizard, 1/1. Each element you control has +1/+0, and tap and play and pay 2 blue and red, and create a 2/2 black and red elemental creature. Kind of slow, kind of fragile, but yeah, can create these elementals at will if you have the mana. Oh, I forgot to mention what's here again, but let's see. Orders of colors, nothing special, except that it gives clerics +1/+1, and the black and white is also cleric, and the elemental here, of course, gets the bonuses from the rare creature. Then we have Umbrage, legendary hack shaman, black and a green 2/2, and tap to search for a shade. No mana required, so it's slow because you need to wait for that one turn, but it is very, efficient at what it does. So if you only had good shades, that's very poorly done foreshadowing. Yeah. Then we have Sergeant Major Flint. Legendary Goblin soldiers are red and a white to tap and tap another creature. No, another creature becomes a soldier. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. So basically, like it can train others quite fast. And when it chip choppers, I don't know why I made it so difficult to say, but anyway. Legendary Snake Wizard, green and a blue 2/2, and tap. The power of target creature becomes the power of another target creature controlled by the same player, and this is a permanent effect. As you might notice, it's a permanent effect. Yeah, so it's a Simic, former Simic, so like basically mutates. Maybe I should add that another player controlled by and becomes a mutant on in addition to other types. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know how good that ability is going to be. but I don't know. It's just one of those things that someone will have fun with that. Like someone will have fun with figuring out how to use that ability. Like, can you get the whatever that 8/0 creature is and just copy that power, that the power of that to everyone or something. But yeah, okay. So I also made 5 mythics. I haven't named one of them yet, but anyway. I might have to change this because there's no white here, except for the 5-color planeswalker. So part of the idea of this world is that it has become this super Sargasso Sea because there is an ancient planeswalker, you know, the pre-mending planeswalker trapped in the world and has gone mad, and it's just, you know, drawing everything it can towards itself because it's trying to gather mana or whatever, trying to store mana, trying to get lands into this place so that it can access enough mana to escape its situation. But I wanted to make it very difficult to cast, so it's double Woolberg. So basically you have to cheat out to be able to use it in most situations. And start with loyalty 7, +2 to surveil. Surveil, I guess it should be surveil 1 and draw a card. And or +2 exile target permanent. And -11 exile all but the bottom card of each player's library. So yeah, I don't know. Well, if you can see it out, it's not even good even then. But that's what I want. I don't want these, you know, to be oppressive. It's more like I want it to be more of a interesting thing, just to, you know, being able to pull it off. Then okay, Overcast, Legendary Shade, 2 black and a green, 4/4. Well, Legendary Shade. And whenever a creature dealt combat damage by card name dies this turn, exile it instead and create a 1/1 token copy of it. It is a shade in addition to its other types and has black and a green +1/+1 until end of turn. And also Overcast has black and a green +2/+3 until end of turn. So it basically makes shades of the creatures it kills, whatever that means. But basically like makes a, you know, a poorly made carbon copy of the of whatever it is. Then Flourishing Oasis, legendary enchantment, 3 UU, well, 3 blue and a blue and a green and a green. Each creature you control gains +X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. If you have 5 or more cards in your hand, your creatures lose flying and get reach and trample. So I don't know. I thought it was funny that things lose flying when they become big enough. But at the point they are big enough to block anything, and they do get the trample. But yeah, I don't know. We do have quite a big flyer, so it's not necessarily a good idea. Then I haven't come up with a name I was happy with this one. So Legendary Demon, 3 black and red, 6/6 flying trample, and whenever you surveil a card into your graveyard with mana value other than 0, destroy all non-demon permanents of that mana value. You lose 1 life for each permanent destroyed this way. So yeah, something that I would find interesting to play, probably others do too, but I also wanted to make it can be very painful to play this because you do have to take a lot of damage, and it might not even work out because you need to be able to surveil a specific card, and this card in itself doesn't give you any surveil abilities. You need to get the surveil from some other source, and in the end there are not that many things that surveil because it's just two colored, so there's a limited number of cards that do that. So I don't know, I just found it interesting. So like a combination of being powerful but also again the floor is low but the ceiling is high. The kind of card I like to play when I'm not that aware of what's going on in a specific limited format. And then Scales the Brood Mother, legendary dragon, 5, 3 and an R, 8/8 defender. Whenever a dragon you control dies, card name fights target creature an opponent controls and loses defender and gain flying and trample until the end of your next turn. Whenever you surveil a creature to your graveyard, this is easily the longest text I have thus far. Where was I? Yeah, whenever you surveil a creature to your graveyard, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. So it bursts fully grown dragons, and if someone dares to attack them, then it tries to kill, well, whatever creature is available at that point. Whatever it feels is the threat. But yeah, that's it for now. So next time I'll be moving into the I'm not sure actually. I'll probably do like white uncommons next. Maybe white rares. I do what I want to do. What I thought I was going to do is that I'm going to, I started with the multicolored uncommons, then moved into the commons. The multicolored uncommons, which are the signposts, which tells us what each color pair is about. Then I moved into the commons, and I've basically done all the commons, although probably some of them need to be pushed into uncommon, maybe. And then, I don't know, my instinct says that I should move into rares, but I already done some of the uncommons, so we'll see. But my instinct says that I should be doing the rares, and then I should be pushing like cards from common into uncommon and rare into uncommon as well, and start populating the uncommons that way. But then on the other hand, I also feel that the skeleton for the uncommons is still kind of important, because there are quite a few uncommons available in each draft, and you need it's not as important to follow a specific skeleton as with commons, because there's so many more commons than uncommons, but the difference isn't that big, and there still are plenty of uncommons in each draft, like 3 per booster, so 72, so almost all. So well, obviously not, because there's going to be multiples of, but yeah, there can be quite a few cards in quite a few uncommons, so you have to take that into account, so that the draft remains balanced, or limited remains balanced. So I'm probably going to, so from that point of view, I guess it would be better to do the uncommons first, and since I've get them started, that's probably what I'll do. But yeah, thanks for listening. Interact if you want to, and yeah, see you next time.